I talk to a lot of different people who approach me because they're stuck, right, in some area of their life. And usually I have to do a little digging to find out what's got them stuck, what's keeping them from going where they want to go or becoming who they want to become. And we often uncover a lot of different things, but one of the things that comes up more often than not is that they have some source of bitterness in their life, some kind of unforgiveness that they have that's kind of holding them back. Now, one of the interesting things about bitterness is never like contained to the source of the bitterness. In other words, bitterness will spread far and wide, and it'll impact all of your relationships. It makes your heart just kind of a great way to kind of picture it is just make your fist as tight as you possibly can. That's how your heart becomes over time when you nurse that grudge, when you hold on to that bitterness. Now, what's interesting to me is that one of the reasons that people often get stuck with bitterness is because they don't really understand what forgiveness is. They get confused and they think that forgiveness is something that it's not. So here's some things forgiveness is not, okay? This might help you out. Forgiveness is not forgetting. A lot of people think because they can't forget what happened to them or they can't forget that exchange with that person, that somehow they're not forgiving. That's not true. You're not going to forget. The goal through forgiveness, though, is that you turn down the volume on that pain so it's not impacting your daily life, right? But forgiveness is not forgetting. Forgiveness is also not condoning. A lot of people get confused here and they don't feel like they can forgive because they feel like to forgive means that they condone. It means that they get to a place where they're okay with what happened to them. They're okay with what the other person did. It's not the case. Injustice needs to be fought at every turn. Forgiveness is not condoning. Forgiveness is not excusing it, right? And then the third thing that forgiveness is not reconciliation. Now, it can lead to reconciliation, but forgiveness and reconciliation are two completely different acts, right? Sometimes you forgive someone, but reconciling wouldn't actually be a healthy thing. Sometimes you can't reconcile, right? Because maybe they're no longer living, but you can still forgive. And then the fourth thing forgiveness is not a one-time event. I think a lot of people, get to this place where they want to forgive someone, they want to release someone, they'll, in their mind and their heart, they'll say, I forgive so-and-so. And then a week later, they feel this disturbance inside of them. They feel the pain come back, they feel the hurt come back, and they're like, shoot, I did it wrong. I must not have, I don't know how to forgive. I'm not a very forgiving person. No. Listen, the pain and the hurt is going to visit again from time to time. The goal in forgiving is that you don't hold on to that pain and that hurt when it visits. You let it pass through you, right? You don't hold on to it. You don't nurse the grudge. You don't nurse the bitterness. You feel the pain, you feel the hurt, but you let it go. Forgiveness is not a one-time event. It's almost always a process. It's almost always a journey. It'll be one of the most difficult journeys of your life, but it's also one of the most rewarding. Because ultimately what forgiveness is choosing the way of love over hate. Forgiveness is letting go of your right to hurt the other person back, right? It's learning to let go of that desire to want to see them pay. And it's crucial that you do this because as long as you hold on to that bitterness, as long as you hold on to that grudge, remember, this is what your heart looks like. It's this tight kind of taunt fist, right? Which means that you can't receive or give love. This is why it impacts all of your relationships. So when you release someone, right, you open up your heart again. What happens is now you can love yourself again, right? Now you can love others again. Now you can love life again. So it costs a lot to forgive. But what costs even more is not forgiving, holding on to the bitterness. So whatever you do, I hope you'll start to take that journey towards forgiving others.